Welcome back to the channel. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese found himself in hot water during a recent press conference in Wollongong, as he was heckled by a local criticising Labor's renewable energy policies. The incident has sparked fresh debate over the impact of offshore wind farms and the broader push towards net zero. Sky News host Rowan Dean weighed in on the situation, remarking that the Prime Minister was given an earful by a member of the public. "We saw Albo being heckled a couple of days ago, out there in Wollongong, beautiful Wollongong, wonderful part of the world," he said. "And here you've got these clowns sticking up these ridiculous windmills, and quite rightly, the public said, no, thank you, Albo." During the press conference, a frustrated local interrupted the Prime Minister, voicing concerns about the steel industry and the impact of Labor's renewable push. Albanese, however, dismissed the heckler's comments, maintaining that his government supports blue-collar jobs and the steel industry. "My message is very clear. We back the industry, we back Australian jobs," he responded. But critics argue that it's not just a handful of locals up in arms over offshore wind farms. Opposition to these projects is growing in communities across regional Australia. Many residents feel they are being railroaded into accepting massive wind turbines in their backyard, with little say in the matter. These offshore wind farms are massively unpopular, with anyone unlucky enough to have them forced upon their community, said Rita Panahi. And it's not just regional areas that should be concerned. This whole net zero push affects everyone. James Morrow echoed similar concerns, pointing out that city dwellers aren't immune to the consequences of net zero policies. "People in the regions are already alarmed by what's happening, but make no mistake, this is an issue for all Australians," he said. "If you live in the city, you're being told when you can run your aircon, when you can use your dishwasher, all because of this net zero agenda. It's all about restricting what you can do, and it's affecting everyone, from inner-city greenies in Paddington to folks out in Goulburn or regional Victoria." The broader concern among critics is that net zero is functioning as a hidden tax, driving up costs across industries and households alike. "Net zero is the biggest tax on every single part of the economy," Morrow argued. "We hear all this noise about Donald Trump's tariffs on Australian steel and aluminium, but tariffs are nothing compared to the economic burden net zero is placing on our industries. It's crippling manufacturing, suffocating businesses, and sending costs through the roof." Rita Panahi reinforced the sentiment, referencing a recent column by Tim Blair that pointed out the irony in left-wing politicians suddenly up in arms about trade barriers. "It's funny, isn't it? Labor, the Greens, the Teals, they are all losing their minds over Trump's proposed tariffs," she said. "But these are the same people who have been pushing for carbon taxes and net zero policies that are far more damaging. Suddenly, they are all champions of fossil fuels. Makes you wonder, doesn't it?" As the debate over renewables and net zero policies continues to heat up, one thing is clear: Australians, whether they live in the city or the bush, are starting to push back. The question is, will the government listen, or will they keep ploughing ahead with policies that many argue are doing more harm than good? That's all for today's coverage. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to stay updated on all the latest news. Cheers!